Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current and latest news. This is the fifth video now I have done today based on this current story about Jose Mourinho officially getting sacked as Manchester United manager. But reportedly, as you can see on my main headline, we've got a few managers that could replace Mourinho that could permanently come in at the end of the season. You know, Diego Simeone's being mentioned, Pochettino's being mentioned, Pochettino's in Zinedine and Diego Simeone have been potential names that have been mentioned that could come in at the end of the season. And there has been few names that have been mentioned who could take over as interim manager until the end of the season, of course. But reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is reportedly in line, and he's favourite to come and take over as interim manager as Manchester United. We know at the moment he's in Norwegian managing Mold, a team called Mold, obviously, who he's played for in his playing career in the past. As I said, but reportedly he's just signed a new contract with them till 2021. Currently their season is over now in Norwegian, and it starts again in March. But reportedly Man United have to pay some kind of fee to get him on a short-term basis, to come at the club as well. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but yeah, well-proven winner Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There's other names being mentioned, such as Eric Cantona's being mentioned, Steve Bruce has been mentioned. We know Lauren Bronk's being mentioned as well to come and take the Caretaker's job. Ryan Giggs has been mentioned as well. Obviously, he was interim manager back after David Moyes in such. Giggs who's obviously, won 13 Premier League titles with Man United and won a lot of silver as well and made over 600 odd appearances. But as I said, all them names have been mentioned. As I said, Carlos Queiroz has been mentioned as well. A lot of names have come into the equation, but Solskjaer is favoured to take over as the caretaker manager at Manchester United. But a player that began his career with two Norwegian clubs. He obviously played for one and played for Molde. I can't remember the other one he played for. I can't pronounce the name. Came to Manchester United as a player from 1996 to 2007. Played 366 times, scored 126 goals. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was in that team when we won the 1999. Champions League. He won the treble that season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer obviously had scored the winner, and Teddy Sheringham had scored in that game as well. So he was here from 1996 to 2007. Was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Won about, was it 6, 7 Premier titles, won FA Cups, won the Champions League as well with us as well. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and then potentially he managed the reserve team. The Manchester United reserve team for a couple of years. Did Solskjaer? Then he went back. Then he went to manage Mold. The team that he began his playing career. He began his playing career where went to manage them, and then he actually came to managing the Premier League with Cardiff City at one point as well. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Now he's back at Mould is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but reportedly he's under contract with them until 2021. He has been managing there, but reportedly Man United would have to pay a fee to get him as short as interim manager at Manchester United. So reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the favoured interim manager to come in at Manchester United. But other names have been mentioned, as I just said. Ryan Giggs has been mentioned. As I said, Eric Cantona has been mentioned. Steve Bruce has also been mentioned as well. So I wouldn't really want Steve Bruce. Obviously, he's an ex-Manchester United player, of course. He used to play alongside Mark Hughes and Paul Ince, as we all know. So he's been mentioned. We know Laurent Blanc's been mentioned as well to come in and take the interim job at Man United. Obviously, he's never had any experience of managing in English football. But he was very, very good in France. He has a lot of experience of managing in France. Does Laurent Blanc? He's managed France at the top level, as we all know. He managed Bordeaux, won honours with them. He managed Paris Saint-Germain. As I said, did very, very well with Paris Saint-Germain. And he managed the French national team as well. But he's obviously got a good relationship with Alex Ferguson. He played for Manchester United, was it for 2 years? Did Laurent Blanc in his playing career? Won honours with us. He also was at Barcelona. His playing career, won honours with them. He actually began his playing career with Montpellier. Did Laurent Blanc? But he had played for quite a few teams during his playing career as well, Laurent Blanc. So his name's been mentioned. He could potentially take over as an interim manager as well. So a lot of names have come out into the equation, as I said. But as I said, guys, the actual permanent manager for next season, reportedly, Pochettino is favourite now. The bookies are favoured Pochettino to come into the job at Man United. Reportedly, we know Zinedine Zidane's been mentioned and Diego Simeone's been mentioned. I think, we've been linked with him in the past. I wouldn't want Diego Simeone. We know Conte's name's been mentioned as well, as I currently said. But Pochettino's situation, he's aware of the speculation. He wishes Jose Mourinho very, very good luck. As he said in his press conference, Pochettino, he has been in the Premier League 7 years. Pochettino, it's built around him. Tottenham, basically mainly because the players he didn't know, most of them players he hasn't signed because he's only spent £50 million since 2014. Pochettino, according to the press, would maybe be capable of coming to Manchester United at the end of the season. It's a big, massive club. He said it's too hard of a job to turn down, as I said. But Pochettino the week he was happy at Tottenham. He's focusing on Tottenham, as I said. He has got a 5-year deal, as we all currently know, but potentially it would cost Manchester United a fee to get Pochettino at the end of the season. But obviously we wouldn't do a deal with them midway through the season because they are due, obviously, the new stadium in 2019 at Tottenham Hotspur. But he has been managing since 2009. He's proven well in the Premier League. But Gary Neville's had a say in it. He said, potentially from his perspective, he would be the right candidate to come in at Manchester United. Pochettino, not because he's done a good job at Tottenham. He says that he's useful with young players and stuff like this, did Gary Neville, and he said he'd be the right candidate for Manchester United. He believes he'd be able to turn the club around, and he's the favourite now to come to Manchester United. And reportedly, it will cost Man United a fee of around, was it 35-40 million pounds to get Pochettino at Manchester United, as I said. But well proven in the Premier League. I think he's got great managerial credentials. He played 18 years in his playing career. Did Mauricio Pochettino, but his name hasn't been mentioned as well. I think he's top of the radar as the next permanent Manchester United boss. We know Zinedine Zidane, of course, has also been mentioned. Zinedine Zidane, he's got a great managerial CV. He's never played or managed in English football, as I said, but obviously won a lot of honours, won 3 Champions Leagues with Real Madrid. He was a good player for Juventus. He was a good player for Madrid. He also played for Bordeaux in his younger days as well as a player. And he did well when he managed Real Madrid as well as Zinedine Zidane. So I think he's got them great managerial credentials. I think he'd be, I think he'd have the correct philosophy for Manchester United. And I think, in my opinion, Pochettino would have the correct philosophy for Manchester United, in my own opinion, guys. But Zinedine Zidane, as I said, stepped down as Real Madrid manager back in May. As I said, so he has been manager just now 6 months. It did say actually that Zinedine Zidane was set to return back to management soon, but his name hasn't been mentioned, and he has been in discussions in the past with his current representatives about coming to managing English football, as I said. But we need a manager that can develop young players, which Pochettino can. A manager that can develop young players, which Fergie did in the Fergie days with 25 years of success we had under Alex Ferguson, because he had great players. We were bossing the transfer markets. We were playing very, very well. And we had that fear factor there under Alex Ferguson. That confidence was there. But since Ferguson's gone, it hasn't been the same. It didn't work out under Moyes. Didn't work out under Van Gaal. And it hasn't worked out under Jose Mourinho, as I said. But Pochettino would be probably one of mine to come in at Manchester United permanently next summer. Zinedine Zidane would be up there as well for me. Never managed or played in English football, but I think he's got great managerial credentials. I think he can turn his team forward, as I said, can Zinedine Zidane. But we need a manager to come in with a positive environment for the players and the club. That's what we need. We need the right man with the right philosophy. The right man that can get this team playing again and playing the football, that should be. Get the right man in that can turn this team around, get them back competing and challenging for major honours, which Manchester United should be doing. So, so Pochettino, Zinedine Zidane's been mentioned. Also Diego Simeone. I wouldn't want Diego Simeone to come in, to be quite honest with you. I don't really want him to come in, to be quite honest with you. We have been linked with him in the past as well. He's the Atletico Madrid manager. Being linked to quite a lot. Diego Simeone's been mentioned, Zinedine Zidane, Pochettino, Jardim's also been mentioned as manager as well. There's a lot of names on the radar, according to Sky Sports. Even when I saw on Sky Sports, Arsene Wenger's name had even been mentioned into the equation as well. Arsene Wenger, I said Mourinho similar replica of Arsene Wenger when he was at United, of what, especially in Arsene Wenger's latter stages of his managerial career. But obviously, he had 22 years of Arsenal, well proven in the Premier League, he knows the Premier League very, very well. I don't think he'll come to Manchester United, Arsene Wenger, but as I said, he's well proven in the Premier League. He managed in the Premier League with Arsenal for 22 years. But But as I said, the 12 of our 13 years of them 22 years were really, really good. And then it went downhill, especially in the latter stages of his managerial career. A lot of Arsenal fans wanted him out, but it still took the club at least 8-9 years to get him out of the club, even though a lot of Arsenal fans, wanted him out, as I said. But his name's been potentially mentioned as well. Also, caretaker manager, I think Roy Keane has been mentioned. Obviously, Roy Keane, who won 7 league titles as a player for Man United and 13 all in all. He's been mentioned as well. So a lot of names have been mentioned to come in as interim manager. A lot of names have been mentioned as a manager to come in permanently at the end of the season. So it could be anyone, but according to what I've seen, Pochettino is the favourite to come in permanently next season. And the favourite to take the interim job as caretaker manager is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was a great legend for Man United. But as it confirmed today, Jose Mourinho had been sacked this morning, as I've updated you on my other videos today. The club had released a statement confirming thanking him for his time at the club, and the work that he did and stuff like that. Ed Woodward obviously told him at the training complex this morning. Jose Mourinho had got around the £22 million payoff for the sacking, as I said, and he was discussing about when he said we could still get top 4 by Christmas. That went out the window, as we all currently know, but you can't argue what he's done in the past. He's had a very, very good pedigree. He's won titles everywhere he's been, Jose Mourinho, but it wasn't going to work out for him here because obviously the board wasn't backing him during the course of the summer. He wasn't getting the major targets, that he currently wanted into the club. And the board wasn't backing him during the course of summer, and the players weren't playing to their potential level, and that is down to Jose Mourinho. Obviously, he signed a new contract back in January this year until 2020, which I couldn't get my head around, to be quite honest with you. But, 2.5 years here. He won the Europa League and League Cup in his first season. Managed 144 games, won 84 games. As I said, Jose Mourinho won the Europa League in his first season. As I said, won the League Cup, got us second place last season, got us to the FA Cup final last season as well. But obviously, as I said, this is our worst start to a season since 1990, so that is 28 years ago, and this season's been worse than the David Moyes era, the Van Gaal era, as we all currently know. But yeah, guys, as I said, Mourinho's been officially sacked. He's been paid £22 million payoff anyway. Obviously, it did say it will cost us obviously to sack Mourinho because he was under contract here until 2020. As I said, but it has been confirmed. But I'm pretty shocked by the decision, to be quite fair, because currently of what his representative said, George Mendes, had basically said he was happy at the club were fully backing him, as I said, Jose Mourinho, and according to what it said yesterday, we knew he was under immense pressure anyway, but what it did say is, what it did say is that Jose Mourinho was an immediate future for this club, meaning he's still going to be here for the time being. They may give him time to spend money in the January window, and I'm shocked at this. I really am, because it was only the other week that he was having discussions with Ed Woodward and his representative George Mendes about getting signings in the January transfer window as well. So it's just funny, isn't it? But we are a big, massive club. I think selections were wrong. His tactics were wrong, and I just think the strappings of the club were too high for Jose Mourinho. As I said, I think we gave him long enough. I do like him as a person. I don't hate Jose Mourinho, but I just don't think he was the right man for Manchester United. That's my potential opinion on it. And as I said, there were not enough. There wasn't players playing to the potential level. As I said, obviously when he was here, it wasn't good for him really. He was having disputes with a lot of the top players. As I said, he had a lot of disputes with the top players. He had a lot of disputes and disputes with the board as well. So it wasn't a really good reputation for him at Manchester United, Jose Mourinho. He had obviously been sacked from Chelsea 3 years ago, back in 2015 as well, as we all currently know. Caretaker manager, reportedly, the interim manager could be announced tonight. Carrick is taking training for the next couple of days. But it could be announced tonight. It did say earlier on it was going to be announced in the next 48 hours, but it could be actually earlier than 48 hours. Basically. But obviously Mourinho's managerial style wasn't good enough for the club. His style of play wasn't good enough at the club. And I'm going to be excited for the Cardiff game at the weekend, because you can tell Man United are going to play different. They're going to play different because we need a new manager to come in and change things around, address the problems. I think maybe get Matic out of the club, get Fellaini out of the club, probably get Lukaku out of the club as well. You know, the players that haven't performed for us. As I said, because we have missed out on a lot of potential targets, you know, that we wanted for a long, you know, for ages. And it just hasn't worked out in these transfer windows, as I currently said. But everyone's had to say on the Mourinho sacking today. Klopp's had to say, you know, he's had a press conference today. You know, there's a lot of people that have been talking about it as well. But Mourinho won't care. He's got £22 million in his pocket, and wherever he will go now, I do not know. But you know, if he goes to another team, I don't think he'll go to another top team, to be quite honest with you, if they play good attacking football, because potentially for me, Mourinho did it very, very well in his past. He achieved very, very well in his past. You know, he won titles everywhere he'd been, as I said, but he had disputes with players at Real Madrid, so he's known for criticising players. He had disputes with players at Real Madrid, as we all currently know. But as I said, I think, you know, when Ferguson left after 25 years, we had great success under Alex Ferguson. My opinion was potentially Ferguson was wrong for recommending David Moyes for the job. You know, if we'd have got Mourinho at that point and Moyes and Van Gaal never came in and we got Mourinho after Ferguson retired, then it might have been a different story. But Mourinho hasn't had a good legacy here, but he's had a good legacy overall. As I said, but if we'd got Mourinho after Ferguson, it may have been a different story. So obviously when he was younger and all that, and he was still being a winner and stuff. But obviously he had problems with Chelsea. You know, that's why he left Chelsea, as we all currently know. But I think for me now, with this new manager coming in, whoever it will be, we'll find out as new permanent manager at the end of the season. For me, I think it is going to be Pochettino. But yeah, is this new manager going to play Bailey more because he's been out of favour this season? Is he going to give? Is he going to, you know, play Paul Pogba more? Is he going to play Fred more? Because Fred hasn't been getting that game time, as we all currently know. But yeah, it's big breaking news, and we'll be on another video, guys. Potentially, when the new caretaker manager is announced, it's looking likely it's going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't think it's going to be Carrick. I think it's Carrick's obviously the assistant coach. It's not going to be him. They've ruled that out, and Nicky Butt has been ruled out as well. But yeah, we will find out very, very soon. We've also got to focus on, we've got a lot of players coming to end of the deals at the club, as we all know. So the board and you need to think about that as well. But I still think there's signings needed in the squad. You know, Jose, you know, a lot of money's being spent on this team. Mourinho spent just over £400 million when he was here. All in all, we spent around £700-800 million. You know, since Alex Ferguson retired from the club, as I said. And we've still got a lot of players coming to end the deals. Pogba's put a tweet on. You know, Gary Neville's reacted to it, basically saying Pogba needs to do one. But, you know, Pogba could become consistent under this new manager if he gets the game time. You know, and he's getting along very, very well, this new manager, and he gets along with the players and the coach staff as well. Paul Pogba, you know, might put a decent shift in. So I think if he's still being inconsistent, you know, when this new, you know, manager does come in, then I would sanction Paul Pogba off then. But yes, as I said, guys, we will find out. It could be tonight. We're going to find out who's the caretaker manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the favourite. Cantona's being mentioned. He could be. Laurent Blanc's being mentioned as well. Managed France at the top level. Played for Manchester United as a player years and years ago. But for me, it looks like it's going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But Man United have got to pay a fee for this because he's under contract with Molde until 2021 with Norwegian. Obviously now their season's over until March, as I said. But Solskjaer's obviously I think he's going to take the caretaker manager's job. And he's obviously managed the United reserve team as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But everyone's had to say today, I've been watching Sky Sports, and from Gary Neville's perspective, he was saying there was no spirit in the team. There was an incredible level of naivety in the team. And Gary Neville said he's useful with young players, he's Pochettino. And he also said he would be the right candidate to come in at Manchester United, Pochettino. So that's Gary Neville's favourite. As I said, Roy Keane is being mentioned for the caretaker manager. I think no, I don't think Roy Keane. You know, no, I don't think Roy Keane. He was a great player with Roy Keane. You know, when he played for us, won 7 league titles and that. But nah. What are you doing? But yeah, as I said, so this is the third manager now that has been officially sat this season, and the third manager that Manchester United have sat since Alex Ferguson. So hopefully this new manager can get us playing the way we can, get the team gelling, and get us playing good attacking football and flair like we did under Alex Ferguson. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets appointed, you know, as the caretaker manager. Looking likely it's going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be the favourite. As I said, Cantona's being mentioned as well. Obviously, we got from Leeds United years and years ago. Steve Bruce being mentioned as well. Laurent Blanc's being mentioned. He's never managed in English football, as we all know, but played for Manchester United as a player under Alex Ferguson. So he's being mentioned as well. So there's a lot of names in the equation. You know, the permanent manager who's been mentioned as Pochettino, Zinedine Zidane, Diego Simeone, Conte. Well, wouldn't want him at the club. I know he's proven in the Premier League when he used to manage Chelsea and won the Premier League with them. Conte's been mentioned as well. Has obviously managed Juventus and played for Juventus in his playing career. And obviously managed Atlanta in Italy, but Conte, no, not for me. Don't think he'd have the stature at Manchester United. I wouldn't want Conte. For me, I'd either want Pochettino or Zinedine Zidane, because Zinedine Zidane's got a good managerial CV. Obviously won honours, won 3 Champions Leagues with Real Madrid. Obviously had a lot of good players at Real Madrid when Ronaldo and that were there. And did very, very well with Real Madrid, so I credit him for that. But Mourinho, we know, we're all happy he's gone. You know, can't doubt he's got a good Wikipedia page. Just like Arsene Wenger's got a good Wikipedia page of what he succeeded with Arsenal in his first 12, 13 years there. And then all of a sudden, you know, it went downhill, as I said. But yeah, more things will update. As I said, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless, guys. See you all again tomorrow. Bye.